Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Katie and today I'm going to be leading you through a yoga flow class, just a simple Vinyasa flow, and I have started a new series called Wellness by the Stars where every season of the astrological calendar I'm going to be posting different classes and tips that have to do with that specific zodiac sign. And right now we are in the series for this season of Aries, and the inspiration behind this comes from this book, Yoga by the Stars. Jilly Shipway wrote it, and so I got inspiration for this flow from her and her chapter on Aries. So I hope you guys enjoy. This is a great flow for any level of experience with yoga, beginner, intermediate, or advanced. You can always modify, and remember that everything I offer you is just simply a suggestion. This is your practice to do at home, so please do what your body needs. This is a donation-based class, so if you feel moved to donate, my Venmo will be in the comment section below, or if you cannot donate financially, a share with friends and family and on social media is always very appreciated. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so like I said, this flow is inspired by the energy of the first astrological sign, that is Aries, which started on March 21st. Aries is a fire sign and it's represented by the ram. So Aries is often about strength and courage and getting things done, and so today we're going to kind of explore that through different flows and different asanas or yoga poses. So we'll go ahead and get started, and we're going to just start out by coming down on our backs. So lay completely down, feeling the ground beneath you. And once you get comfortable, just begin to completely arrive here in this space that you've created for yourself. Forget about everything that's happened throughout your day, and forget about everything that you have to do later. Just simply arrive here, feeling the ground beneath you and the air on your skin. Maybe as you begin to relax and release that tension, you start to notice your natural breath. You don't have to change or alter this breath in any way, just notice the breath. Using it as a focal point and an anchor for your awareness. And as you continue to just pay attention to your breath, begin to relax further onto your mat. And as you continue to breathe, you might start to notice that your exhales begin to lengthen and slow. And as your exhales lengthen and slow, your inhales might start to deepen. And taking deep breaths now, sending that fresh air all the way down to your belly space, allowing the full chest cavity to fill with air. filling up your abdomen. And with every exhale, releasing all of the stale, used energy. You might want to go ahead and take a moment here to set an intention for your practice. And before we start to move, I'm going to offer a little bit of breath work or pranayama to our practice, welcoming in a little bit of heat to our bodies, a little bit of that Aries fire. We're going to practice an ujjayi breath, breathing from the back of your throat, almost as if you are breathing in a way to fog up an old pair of glasses or sunglasses. And we're going to seal the lips shut. Breathing from the back of the throat. Taking a few rounds of breath with the ujjayi breath and beginning to warm the inside of your body. When you feel ready, offering a little bit of movement to the body by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Maybe starting to take a few circles of the wrist. And a few circles of the ankles. Moving in a way that might feel nice to you. And when you're ready, on your next big inhale, reaching your hands up above the head. Taking a full body stretch, stretching all the way through the tips of the fingers down, through the tips of the toes. And on your next inhale, bringing the knees in towards the chest, taking a clasp here on the shins, and maybe beginning to rock side to side, giving your back and spine a little massage. And finding a little bit of stillness here. We're going to place both of our hands on our right shin, pulling that knee in close to the chest and allowing the left leg to straighten down the mat. And taking a few breaths here in this stretch. With each inhale, bringing in new energy, and maybe on each exhale, seeing if you can bring that knee in any closer. Remembering that while some stretches or poses might be uncomfortable, you should never be in pain. So if pain does occur, please back off and do what you need to do to take care of your body. On your next exhale, releasing that right leg down towards the left. Maybe shaking it out a minute. And then on your next inhale, taking a clasp on the left shin. Breathing here once again, maybe with every exhale, allowing the knee to come even closer in towards your chest. And on your next exhale, release the left leg down the mat and shake it out again. We're going to inhale both knees back into the chest if you need to take another rock side to side. And placing our hands out into a T, palms up towards the sky. And we're going to take a nice inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to allow the knees to drop over towards the right, coming into a supine twist. And if this feels good and you would like a little bit more of a stretch here, allow the face to just drop over the left shoulder. Take about 5 deep belly breaths here. And on your next inhale, engaging the core to lift the knees back up to center. Maybe taking another rock side to side, and on your next exhale, allowing them drop over to the left. And once again, if you would like to deepen this twist, allowing the face to just slightly gaze back over the right shoulder. Taking an inhale and an exhale, allowing the hip to fall away from the rib cage. Feeling that separation in the side torso, those obliques. And on your next inhale, allowing the knees to return back to center. Maybe taking a happy baby pose here. Maybe your baby wants to be still today, or maybe it wants to rock back and forth. And on your next exhale, releasing that pose. And once again, clasping the knees to the chest. We're going to begin to rock forwards and backward until you come to a complete seated position. We're going to take a nice easy pose here. Grounding the sits bones into your mat. Bringing the shoulders up and down the back. And growing the crown of the head up towards the sky. Take an inhale and an exhale. And we're just going to warm up the body a little bit. We'll start with some nice stretches of the neck. So on your next exhale, just allow the chin to drop towards the chest. Let it hang heavy here for a moment. Taking some nice deep breath. And on your next inhale, lifting the right ear to the right shoulder. Feeling the opening of your left side of your neck. It might help to take the left hand, placing it on the ground. And on your next exhale, allowing the chin to drop back to the chest. Then inhaling the left ear to the left shoulder. Once again, maybe putting the right hand down towards the mat for a more intense stretch. Making sure our shoulders are not coming to meet our ears, but our ears are meeting our shoulders. And on your next exhale, allowing the chin to return back towards the chest. And now taking some full head rolls, choosing whichever direction feels right for you. We inhale to bring the head up and back. Careful not to crunch the back of the neck. And then exhaling to bring it back down towards the chest. And just move here at your own pace with your own breath. And when it feels natural, you go ahead and change direction, stopping anywhere that you might find a sticky spot. And there's no rush to get there, but once you find yourself down with your chin to your chest once more, pause here. And on your exhale, lifting the head back up to neutral. Now we're going to roll over our knees into a tabletop position, making sure our wrists are under our shoulders and our knees are under our hips. We've engaged our belly button, pulling it in towards the spine, but always making sure we can still breathe. And on your next inhale, we're going to drop that navel down towards the mat, pulling our sits bones up towards the sky for cow. And on the exhale, we're going to round through the spine, pushing up through the tops of the feet for cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Move through these cat and cows, once again at your own speed with your own breath, only moving on an inhale or an exhale. We never want to move mid-breath. And finding a little bit of neutralization back here in our tabletop position. We're going to take a big inhale and tuck the toes. Then on your exhale, when you're ready, we're going to push our hips up and back for our first downward facing dog of the practice. Maybe walk out the feet here. If your hamstrings feel too tight, bend the knees and press the torso towards the thighs. Bend your knees as much as you need to create a nice, strong, straight spine from the tip of your tailbone through the crown of your head. So relax here and take about 5 deep belly breaths. On your final exhale, find your gaze floating towards the top of your mat and slowly walk the feet in towards the hands for a forward folds. Making sure we're bending at our leg creases, our true hips, and not at our waist. We're letting the head and the back and the spine hang heavy here. Once again, grounding the feet into the mat and allowing the knees to bend as much as they need to. If it feels okay, you might even like to take a clasp on the elbows, creating a heavier hang for your spine and allowing those vertebrae to begin to separate from one another. Just hang out here for a few deep breaths. If the floor seems too far away here, or if this pose is really uncomfortable, you can always place a yoga block here under your hands for extra support. And if you don't have a yoga block at home, you can always use a thick book or maybe a piece of plastic Tupperware from your kitchen. Anything that will help stabilize you. Take another deep inhale and let your exhale go fully, seeing if you can fold any farther. And now, bending the knees, we're going to slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time, allowing the head to be the last thing that arrives. Inhaling the shoulders back and down the spine and coming into a nice mountain pose. Finding your mountain pose here, grounding the feet into your mat, sending the tailbone down while sending the crown of the head up towards the sky, engaging the core, making sure the lower rib cage is not sticking out but pulled in, extending the chest up towards the sky, feeling that strength from the Aries energy. Take a breath here. Let go all of the energy, refocusing. If you found your breath or you lost your breath, take a moment here to re-find it. And on your next inhale, we're going to inhale the arms up towards the sky. And then exhale to forward fold. Inhaling the hands to the shins and the crown of the head forward, creating a flat back. And then exhaling to forward fold. We're going to reverse swan dive with a flat back and inhale our arms all the way back up to the sky. And bring prayer hands to heart center. Inhaling the arms up towards the sky. We'll exhale, forward folds. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, forward folds. Once again, grounding the feet into the mat. Reverse swan dive on an inhale, all the way back up to the sky. Taking an inhale, and maybe exhaling into a slight back bend here. And inhaling back up to extended mountain pose. Making sure the feet are grounded. We're going to take an inhale and on your next exhale, sit down into chair pose. Inhale and exhale. Holding it just a moment more. I know it burns. We're starting to feel that fire. And on your next exhale, forward folds. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold to plant the hands and step into plank. Take an exhale and an inhale. And either lower on your next exhale with a chaturanga, or if you're new, you can lower your knees, your chest, and your chin. And inhale to push up into cobra. And exhale down. Tucking the toes here and either pushing straight up or coming through tabletop or plank pose. We're going to exhale to our downward facing dog. On your next inhale, we'll float the right foot up towards the sky for three-legged dog pose. And then exhale it through, planting it between the hands, coming up into our warrior one. Checking our positioning here, making sure our back foot is slightly turned out at an angle, making sure the right knee is never going past the right ankle. Making sure the shoulders are back and down the spine. And staying strong in this core, pulling the lower rib cage in. Take another inhale. And exhale to fold forward, planting the hands and stepping back into plank pose. Take an inhale. And then exhale to lower knees, chest, and chin. Or lower through chaturanga. Inhaling to cobra. And then exhaling either straight to your downward dog or lowering to the ground. Tucking the toes and pushing back up into downward facing dog. On your next inhale, we're going to float the left foot up towards the sky and exhale to bring it through, planting it between the hands and inhaling up to a warrior one on our left side. Again, check to make sure your shoulders are back and down the spine, that your rib cage is not pulling forward, arching your back. Taking an inhale, and then exhaling to lean forward, planting the hands on the mat, and stepping back into plank pose. Exhaling to lower through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale to cobra. And exhale, either tucking the toes to downward dog or exhaling to lower back down. Taking an inhale to tuck the toes. And then exhaling to your downward facing dog. Take a few deep belly breaths here. And finding the front of the mat with your gaze, begin to step the feet towards the hands. Coming into your forward fold. Inhaling the hands to the shin, sending the crown of the head forward for a flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. And on the next inhale, we're going to ground our feet into the mat, bending the knees and sitting the hips back into another chair pose. Remember, in chair pose, we're not leaning forward. We're sitting back as if we are sitting in a chair. Taking an inhale and an exhale. And on your next inhale, straightening your knees, growing up towards the sky, and exhaling, prayer hands to heart center. Taking a breath here. And then on your next inhale, sweeping the arms back up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Planting the hands and stepping back into plank pose. Then lowering the knees to the ground to come back into your tabletop position. Placing the big toes together and the knees mat widths apart. We're going to sit the hips back and relax into a child's pose. Continue to relax here for a few moments. Use it as an opportunity to pull your focus back inward and to refine your breath. So take a few more moments here in child's pose, remembering it's always here for you if you do need to return back to it. And we're going to start to flow again here. Building that fire in our bodies through our asanas that encourage us to build our courage and our strength, just like the ram of Aries. So on your next inhale, begin to walk yourself back up to a seated position, coming forward into tabletop pose. Take an inhale here to tuck the toes and push the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Inhaling and exhaling. On your next inhale, walk the feet forward into our forward folds. Bending from the hips again, letting the head hang heavy. And then on your next inhale, we'll place the hands to the shins, coming up for another flat back. Then exhaling, forward fold. Nicely grounding the feet into your mat. With a slight bend in the knees and a flat back, we're going to reverse swan dive, inhaling the arms all the way up towards the sky. And exhaling, prayer hands to heart center. Finding your Tadasana again, or your mountain pose. Once you find it, we'll begin to flow. And we'll inhale the arms up towards the sky. And exhale, forward folds. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Planting the hands, stepping back to plank. Exhaling through chaturanga, and then inhaling to up dog or cobra. And exhaling, find your way back to down dog. Then inhale and exhale. We're going to inhale to float the right foot back up towards the sky, and then exhale to bring it through, planting it between the palms and coming back up for warrior one. Finding that nice alignment with a strong core. On your next inhale, we're going to clasp the hands behind the back, opening the chest, engaging the shoulder blades, taking an inhale, and exhaling forward to humble warrior. This pose works on not only your strength but also your balance. So if at any time you need to reset, or if your shoulder mobility is not quite there, mine is not great, just do what is right for your body here. On your next inhale, we're going to let go of the hands, growing back up to our warrior one pose, or Virabhadrasana one. I'm going to take an inhale. And on the exhale, swing the left hand back, turning the body and coming into warrior two. Warrior two, you're going to have your front facing foot forward, and then your back paralleled with the back of your mat, bringing the shoulders back and down the spine, and gazing out over that front hand. Take an inhale and exhale to see if you can lunge any farther. Inhaling the arms up to the sky and bringing them down to heart center. We're going to turn that front foot parallel with our back foot, bringing the hands to the hips. Once again, bringing the shoulders back and down the spine. We're going to take an inhale, and then with a flat back, we're going to fold forward, and we will come into a wide-legged forward fold pose, adjusting the feet to where you feel comfortable and placing the hands where you feel comfortable, and just letting the upper body hang and release, letting the head hang heavy, and just take a few breaths here. When you're ready, place the hands on the mat, finding a nice flat back. And engaging the core, placing the hands back on the hips. On an inhale, rising back up to neutral standing position. We're going to turn that front foot back out towards the front of your mat. And find that warrior two again. Taking an inhale, then exhaling to sweep that back hand down and forward, turning towards the top of your mat, finding yourself back in your warrior one position. On your next inhale, we're staying in the same position with our feet, but we're inhaling to straighten that front leg, bringing the arms down. Then exhale, we'll sit back forward into warrior one. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior one. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior one. And inhale, straighten once more. You might have to scoot a little bit back on your mat because we're heading now into warrior three. So find a good grounding position with your front foot. And when you're ready, bend that back leg and come up into your warrior three pose. You might need to put your hands at prayer heart center, or maybe even out to the sides for an airplane pose. But whatever you're doing, make sure you're sending the energy down through your back heel and through the crown of your head. And creating that nice straight line. Take an inhale, and then exhale your foot down, coming into chair pose. And inhaling up for extended mountain pose. And exhaling prayer hands to heart center. Take a moment here to shake it out if you need. And then we're going to do that same flow on the other side. If you need to stop the video here and maybe take some rounds of breath in child's pose, please do so. And I have switched sides of my mat just simply so you can see what I'm doing. But if you're not going to stop and take a child's pose, then just stay in mountain pose where you are, refocusing the breath, and we'll begin to flow. So we'll inhale the arms up towards the sky and exhale forward fold. Inhale flat back and exhale to forward fold, planting the hands and stepping into plank. Take an inhale and then exhale through chaturanga, inhaling to up dog or cobra. And then exhaling, finding your way, whatever you need to downward facing dog. Taking an inhale and an exhale. We'll inhale that left foot up towards the sky, bringing it through for warrior one. Inhaling the arms up. Might have to adjust the feet here, but please do what is comfortable for you. Bringing the shoulders down away from the ears. Taking an inhale, and exhaling to clasp the hands. Bringing the chest forward. Then on your next inhale, coming back into that humble warrior. Working on the balance. Taking an inhale and an exhale. And inhaling once more to rise back up into warrior one. And then we'll exhale, finding that warrior two. Once again here, checking out our alignment. Our back foot should be parallel with the back of the mat, while our front foot and knee is facing forward, and the rest of our body should be facing the side of our mat. Bringing the arms out beside you, shoulders back and down the spine, and allowing our gaze to gaze out forward across the front hand. Taking an inhale, exhaling to see if we can bend any lower. Then inhaling that front leg straight, bringing the front foot parallel with the back and our hands to the hips. You might need to adjust your footing here, but we're going to practice our wide-legged forward fold once more. To take an inhale, and with a flat back, exhale to forward fold. Taking a second here to refocus back on your breath. Maybe check in with your intention. And slowly planting the hands in front of us, creating a nice straight flat back. We'll allow the hands to find the hips. And on an inhale, slowly rise back up to standing. Maybe adjust your footing once more. But we're going to come back into our warrior two pose. Growing the crown of the head. And on the next inhale, sweeping the right back arm down and around for warrior one. Once again, we're going to do that little flow with our warrior one, Virabhadrasana. So inhale, we're going to straighten that front foot, knee. And then exhale to warrior one again. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior one. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior one. Inhale, straighten, and we're going to go into warrior three. So if you need to take a moment to ground that front foot again. Taking an inhale and exhaling to find your warrior three. Deep breaths. When you're ready, exhaling to that chair pose. Inhaling to extended mountain. And And exhaling, prayer hands to heart center. We'll start slowing things down. So inhale the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Planting the hands, stepping back into tabletop. And then once again, finding your most comfortable child's pose. Again, take a moment here to recenter. We just did a lot of strengthening poses, lighting that fire within us. So you might need to take a moment here, spend as much time as you need in child's pose, and then we'll move along. Whenever you are ready, you might want to pause the video here, but if you are ready to move along, we'll gently start to walk the hands back up to a seated position, coming down on one hip and placing the feet out in front of you. Taking a deep breath here, you stay right here. I'm going to turn towards you. Taking an inhale, and maybe taking a moment to scoot the hips back, grounding the sits bones into the ground. And on an exhale, with a flat back, crown of the head towards the sky, start to fold. Keeping a flat back as long as you can. And you can't go any further, allowing the head to drop heavy. I'm going to stay here for a few breaths. Seeing maybe on your exhales if you can fold just a little bit further. And you're going to come out of this one vertebra at a time. Carefully rolling back up on an inhale, allowing the head to be the last thing to arrive. Inhaling the shoulders up and back down the spine. And we're going to practice our boat pose. So the boat pose is another balancing pose, but it also really works the core. So bring the flats of your feet onto your mat and maybe hold just behind the knees, just finding a balance on your sits bones. When you're ready, maybe let go of the legs and maybe even straighten the legs. You want to make sure your chest is coming up towards the sky. You're pulling that navel in towards the spine to protect the lower back. And coming down whenever you need. Great job. And once you're done, place the soles of your feet back on the mat. And slowly and gently, as slow as you can, but as quick as you need, roll down to the mat. Bringing the heels of the feet closer to your hips. We're gonna practice our bridge pose. So taking an inhale and an exhale here, placing the hands on your mat. I'm gonna take an inhale and lift the hips up towards the sky for bridge. Engaging the core and engaging all the back leg muscles. Taking an inhale and exhaling to lower one vertebra at a time, rolling back down to the mat. And on our next inhale, we're going to lift again. And on your next exhale, rolling back down. One more time, we'll inhale into bridge. And exhale back down. Placing the soles of the feet together in Supta Baddha Konasana, or a bound angle pose. We're gonna relax here, maybe placing a hand on the heart and a hand on the stomach. Slowing down the breath and returning back to those deep belly breaths that we found at the beginning of class. On your next inhale, 1 foot at a time, you can return the soles of your feet back to the mat. And on an inhale, bringing the knees back in towards the chest, giving a nice rock side to side. And once again, we're going to revisit those supine twists. So allow the palms of the hands to come out into a T position. Placing the legs in a 90-degree angle. Taking a deep inhale, and on your exhale, allowing the knees to drop over towards the right. And bringing the gaze back over the left shoulder. Breathing into the left side body, allowing the hip to fall away from the rib cage. On your next inhale, engaging the core, bringing the knees back up to center, and exhaling over to the left. Again, bringing the gaze over the right shoulder. Breathing through the open right side of the body, allowing the rib cage to fall and widen away from the hips. And on your next inhale, engaging the core, bringing the legs back up to neutral center. rocking side to side, and taking a moment here to do anything you need to finish up your practice. Maybe revisiting Happy Baby, maybe taking another form of a twist or another stretch. But when you're ready, we're going to move into our final relaxation pose, which is known as corpse pose or Shavasana. Lying flat on our back, allowing the feet to drop on either side completely limp. Placing the hands out on either side. Allowing the palms face up if you're ready and open to receiving. Or if you feel you need more grounding, placing the palms flat on the surface. And do one last scan of the body here, starting at the tips of the toes. Working your way up through the calves and the knees. Searching for any points of tension that might still be hiding out. And with every inhale, breathe in tension into those spots. And exhale to allow the tension to release. Checking your pelvis and your hips. Your torso, your chest. Are you holding any tension in your neck? Maybe is your tongue pressed to the roof of your mouth, or you're holding tension between the eyebrows. Just breathe and let it all go. Enjoying your Shavasana, allowing yourself to just completely release. And I'll be here to bring you back when it's time. And if you need more time here in Shavasana, just simply pause this video. I typically like to do a 10-minute Shavasana, so please, this is your practice and do as you need. And if you are ready to conclude your practice, choose your favorite side, rolling over into a fetal position. Allowing your entire practice to come together. Whenever you feel fully present and ready, gently lifting yourself back up to an easy seated position. And take one more inhale and exhale together. Inhaling the arms up towards the sky and exhaling the prayer hands to heart center. Today we've honored our bodies in that place where the entire universe dwells. A place that is love, peace, truth, and light. And when I am within that place in me and you are within that place in you, we are one. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me in this practice. I hope you enjoyed. I'll be back next season of the astrological chart in just a few weeks with another flow. So look forward to that. And be sure you're following me on Instagram, on TikTok, or on Facebook. And then also make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page so you don't miss any of the tips or the classes. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.